Okay, so we're diving into something today that's been really making headlines,
Yeah,
especially with this new bill in the UK Parliament,
right.
assisted dying.
It's a big one.
Yeah, and you shared some articles that really got me thinking about all this, and it's just such a heavy topic, right? Like ethically,
Yeah,
emotionally,
sure.
the heart of it seems to be, is this a slippery slope?
Yeah.
Are we helping people, or are we heading towards something a lot scarier?
It's a tough one. And to even start talking about it, we have to be clear on what assisted dying even means, as opposed to other terms.
Yeah, good point.
So we're specifically talking about when someone is terminally ill, like really, really clear prognosis, they understand that, and they're the ones making the choice to end their life sooner, but with medical help.
Right, so it's their decision, but a doctor would be involved in the process.
Exactly. Different from euthanasia, where the doctor's the one actually administering the final medication.
Right, right. Okay, so that distinction's important. That seems to be where the UK is kind of stuck right now. This bill they're looking at, it would make assisted dying legal, but only under really specific situations.
Right, right.
Terminal illness being the main one,
Mm.
and the person has to be totally mentally capable of making this choice, like no question about that.
Yeah, capacity is huge.
Yeah, and the article said a lot of Parliament actually supports this bill, which I guess reflects how a lot of people feel in general.
Seems like it.
But even so, legally, it's still kind of messy. Helping someone die, even if they want it, it's technically against the law in the UK.
It is, yeah, but you don't see a ton of prosecutions for it, at least in certain cases.
Right, like the article mentioned that, certain situations, it's just not prosecuted.
Exactly, and that's what those pushing for the bill say. It's like, this is already happening. We're just trying to make it clear and open, you know, take it out of the
It's
shadows.
about having control over your own life, your own death, dying with dignity, all of that.
That's the argument. Yeah, but then you've got the other side saying, hold on, look at Canada.
Right, they went down this road already, didn't they?
2016, they legalized it. And the number of these assisted deaths has like quadrupled since.
Quadrupled. Wow, okay, so that's definitely got people's attention.
It does, but whether that's just because it's easier to access now or if it reflects something deeper changing in society, that's the debate.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder, and the article had this story about a guy in Canada, Mitchell Tremblay.
Okay.
Really sad case. He was dealing with really serious mental illness. Plus, on top of it all, he was living in poverty, like really desperate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he actually looked into assisted dying. He felt so stuck, he thought that was the only way out.
That's heavy.
It is, and thankfully it never happened.
Yeah.
Canada doesn't allow assisted dying for mental health reasons yet anyway.
Right, right.
And Tremblay is still alive today. Actually said he was grateful he didn't go through with it, but it just shows you how real this mission creep idea is.
It's a big fear. That's exactly what it's called. You allow it for one specific situation, but then it just keeps expanding. The boundaries get blurry.
Like, give them an inch and they'll take a mile.
That's it. And you see it happening in Canada. There have been cases where people got assisted dying for chronic pain, even just after a Zoom call.
A Zoom call? Seriously?
Yeah, which is, that freaks a lot of people out.
I can see why. And the article mentioned even wilder situations,
Yeah.
like Canada thinking about extending this to kids.
It's lots.
It is. And the Netherlands, they let couples do what they call synchronized deaths. Even if they're not terminally ill, they can choose to die together.
Yeah, it's like, how do you even begin to make rules about that?
Right. Where does it end? And that's what really gets me is, how can you ever be 100% sure someone's not being pressured into this?
Yeah, the coercion issue,
Like,
absolutely.
are they really doing it for themselves? Or are they feeling obligated? Family pressure, money problems, maybe they feel like they're a burden on their families. It's just, ugh, it's a lot to unpack.
It is, and it's impossible to know what's truly in someone's heart, all the factors at play.
Right, and that's what makes me think, maybe if we had better support systems in place, like maybe some of those people wouldn't feel so desperate, so much like a burden.
It makes you think.
Yeah, and the article brought up palliative care, which I thought was really interesting.
So important.
It is, and apparently a lot of palliative care doctors, they're actually against assisted dying.
They are. They see it differently. Like their whole focus is on easing suffering, but in a broader way.
Yeah, it's not just about physical pain.
No, it's
Not-
about the emotional and spiritual side too. For the patient and everyone who loves them, it's about helping them face death with peace, surrounded by love.
And it just makes you wonder, if we made palliative care a bigger priority, if we really tackled things like poverty, all those social issues that can make people feel so hopeless.
Yeah, would people still feel the need to choose assisted dying?
Exactly. Something to think about for sure.
Definitely a lot to consider.